大家早上好，欢迎来到用心讲堂，又是一个星期六。Yvette 你好。
你好，大家好。
So very good morning. Yvette, today we have invited a very experienced guest, Dr. Tan, to conduct a very special sharing with us. So, Dr. Tan is founder and principal counselor of Orcus Counseling Center, and she is a registered counselor as well, and also is a licensed expressive art therapist. She also conducted counseling sessions regularly, which includes personal counseling, family therapy, marriage, couple counseling, and also group counseling. So I believe today the sharing will be very fruitful, and also we can learn a lot from her. And also group counseling.
Yes.
So I believe today the sharing will be very fruitful, and also we can learn a lot. So we invite Doctor to. I believe today the sharing will be very fruitful, and also we can learn a lot. So, Doctor, good morning.
Good morning,
Hi,
Dr. Tan.
Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Yvette. Yeah, thank you, I Xin Jiang Tang, for invited me for these sessions. I'm glad that I had this opportunity to share with you my experience. We've been working with family and children for the past 20 over years. So I myself, I have PhD in counseling psychology because I'm very passionate about helping and also supporting family and children. So I own a center called Oikos Counseling. So we provide services for adult and children in psychological needs and also like in educations and also like through a method we use called play therapy and sand play therapy. So later on, I will share some of the methods and skills we often use in sand play and play therapy. And perhaps also over the years, as I explore into healing of my body and soul, I actually came across essential oil, which works on somatic, which is bodily, and also emotions. So later on, I will also do a small demo on how to use these things to help children with like emotions through like a simple therapy. So now maybe I pass back the time to Melissa, and before I go further to share my 3 methods on how to support children emotionally and also the scalp therapy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. In fact, this is our pleasure to have you in our sessions today. Yvette, correct?
Yes. It's going to
So
be
I
very
think,
meaningful for everyone.
yes. Without further delay, I think, Doctor, you can start to sharing your knowledge about the relationship with the parents and the kids about their emotion. And we are actually looking forward as well about the scalp therapy that you are going to demo for us. I think, Doctor, you can start your sharings right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Melissa. So first, I started my center providing services for adults. Then when children came in, we know children, they are not so capable of talking because their words sometimes are limited, and sometimes, especially when they are traumatized, they can't express themselves well at all in words. So then we went on to study play therapy, and play therapy basically believe children's language actually is play. So through play, actually they like process or went out or release the internal tensions that cause the external behavior. So as we studied play therapy, and then we came across sand play therapy, which is very powerful because we will have a sandbox in the middle of the room. And often I saw children jump into the sandbox and they resolve a lot of frustrations or aggressions in the sandbox. And as they came out from the sandbox, they became so happy and relaxed. So then that made me like really desire to go further and study sampling. So I went to Switzerland and I studied, and I discovered, in fact, sampling, because sampling and play therapy, we consider the symbols actually is a language to the children's unconscious. Just like toy actually is the word for children. So often children cannot express themselves in language, in maybe words, but then through the selections of toys, and then they actually to present, able to not only present and work through, the difficulties that they face internally. So this approach actually based so much on the great psychologist called Carl Jung. Carl Jung is a Swiss psychiatrist, and then he worked so much with all the emotional disturbance patients, and then he discovered actually a lot of struggle are in our unconscious. So because we want to work through and work together with a child in their emotional struggle, so then behavioral wise, sometimes it's hard to stop whatever we wanted to alter. If let's say like behavioralism, things that if the children is naughty, then we will spank or scold or punish. So behaviorism. But then Kayong belief is more than external behavior. That's why when my children were young, I started to went on to study emotion intelligence, because I believe there is more than their behavior. Because sometimes after they are like becoming like when they were so naughty, and then they were like very regret, and also they feel very bad. So then there's always a struggle. Children wanted to control their emotion, but then they can't. So at the end, a lot of issues between mother and child became so complicated, because it is not only the behavior that easily we kind of like want to control, but then we want to work towards deeper layer, which is the unconscious and emotion side of them. So the first skill that we often use is called reflecting. So what is reflecting? Yeah. So maybe I check back with Melissa and Yvette. Have you heard of something like people like reflect on your feeling before? Have you had that kind of experience before? When you are sad, people will say, "Oh, Melissa, I know you are so sad." No, right?
Yes,
That
yes.
is reflecting, which is seldom used by parents. Melissa, you agree or not? Most of the time, we will go straight and say, why? Why are you so sad? Why are you so angry? That is our immediate response, which is true. But now, because you want to support a child emotionally, so we got to alter our word. So instead of saying why, we want to first empathize them. So this is a skill in knowing, understanding them, and build the bridge. So reflecting is building the bridge, because we understand how they are feeling. So simple reflecting can be, oh, I know you are so tired, you don't want to do anything at all. I think mother will not say that, right? Most mother will say, if I say that, then children will become more lazy. But why we want to say that? Because it is a way we validate. Validation is so important, because a lot of children at the end, they try to detach from their true self, their emotion, because what they have inside sometimes is not being accepted. So then they try to run away, and sometimes they could project a nice persona for parent. Oh, very obedient or very happy. But if let's say the true self inside is not tally, it's going to create a split at the end. So reflecting, in another word, is also acknowledge. I acknowledge you, although I don't totally agree with you. I know you are so lazy. I know you don't want to do anything. So I empathize with you, but I never say I agree and allow. So that's our first skill. Reflecting means we are building a bridge between mother or father and the child, especially special needs kids, because we work a lot with like autistic, ADHD. And these children, they run so fast. And then
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to really, make them listen. But then if you gradually use this method, and even before later on you use the second technique, they will know. Because this take time. It's really a testing of mother's patience, because it's not like everyone can do it. That's why we are paid. We pay a lot because why? Because we are able to support children emotionally. So do you have any questions about the first skill before I move on further?
No, it's okay. You can continue, Dr.
Yeah, we
Tan.
can
I think
continue
it's
because
fun, yeah.
it's yeah, very good.
Yes,
So
like
it,
because you were talking about Kao Jung,
yeah,
the
you
behavior
like
is actually all the conscious behavior. They
yes.
change from time to time trying to match. But whatever that lies below the subconscious, those are the emotions that we need to work on.
Yes, yes. So emotion, in fact, is very big part of a person. So we always say we have mind, we have emotions, and then we have body. So if we tackle only the body and not tackle the emotions or the mind, it's hard at the end to build a balanced personality. Or some parents focus so much on mind,
Yes.
because we always think that we can be mastermind, we can also control children's mind, but mind is also another part of a person. So we need to integrate the three: mind, body, and the emotions. So the second method actually is very powerful. Second skill, that is where we also use a lot in discipline a child, because when we say the first skill, you reflect, it seems that you also allow everything you see on a child, especially special needs child. They can, like, especially autistic, they can take their own sweet time. They don't want to eat. They just focus on doing what they like. They don't even want to look at you. Do we allow? So of course we know that that is their nature. We need to respect. That's why we reflect, we acknowledge, and through reflecting, actually we empower them to move on. So the second skill actually focus on helping them to develop a good self-control. You see, previously we use a lot of behaviorism, like I said just now, is like the reward, or
Yes.
is the maybe, yeah, praise. But now we want to do more than that, because sometimes children growing up in always expecting for reward, then it could create a false scenario where they only live out to people's expectation. They live to please parents or teachers especially. So why parents often complain? Why at home they are so naughty, but teacher said they are very obedient in school? Because of reward. Because sometimes some teachers say, I don't say all, some teachers say, if you are good boy, then I give you reward. So although that one work, but I think it's no choice. When you're in a classroom, then you can use those methods, because otherwise then teacher can't teach at all. But then at home it's different. Children know that I'm the only child. I don't want to I don't want to suppress myself so much, because when they have to please other people, they have to suppress so much their true self. So at home,
Yes.
then you will see them very different. So the second method, so it's called A, C, and T. A means we acknowledge. Actually, acknowledge is very similar with the first skill, that we reflect them first. So we acknowledge. Like sometimes, like fighting among siblings. I give this example. Often, right? So some parents, because they don't know how to handle, so they will separate two of them. Then they thought easy, at peace. But then at the end, we still have to come back to the real issue, whether two of them can live well or not. So ACT will be able to support parents. But of course, like we said earlier, parent has to be very patient to learn. And secondly, emotionally also steady. If let's say mother is so angry, I know the first word come out will be scold and scold and scold. So, but
Yes.
then if mother, yeah, I think we've seen so many cases. Sometimes our heart ache because I feel the pain on the child, right?
Mm.
That's why, Melissa, if we want to do extra, because we experienced before as a child when we were treated that way, we know it's no good. It's bad for our ego and esteem. So now we want to do differently for our young generations. And also perhaps mother can also slowly work out personal issues and start to also see things more positively by using some of this method, which is quite different from our previous parenting skill. Because previously a parent, they don't have people to support them. They use the old method, but now we introduce something new to discipline the child. So by first acknowledge, C means communicate the limit. Often parents will jump into C. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. When my child was young, 20 over years ago, I got a shock because I said, you cannot do this, you cannot pick coco. But you know what he asked me? Everything also cannot. You tell me what are the things okay. Because he want to play this also cannot, play that also cannot. So that I know this is not going to work for him. For my first, second child, okay, because they are very ordinary children, they are okay. My third child are very challenging because they are learning difficulties. And then he also a bit ADHD. He has dyslexic. He do like to study. And then he has a lot of creative idea to try out. He want to try out all the things. So otherwise your house will become so messy or you allow. So then luckily I learned first emotion intelligence. I know even when he's angry, I got to support him by reflecting. And then I use C because that time I already coached so many children in my play therapy room. I know how to handle the most difficult child, especially ADHD child, because they can be so like
Challenging.
challenging. Yes, very challenging. So then we communicate the limit. If let's say just now the case wanting to beat Coco, I say, I know you are so angry, you want to beat Coco, but beating Coco is not okay. So that is communicating the limit. Beating Coco is not okay. Or if they don't want to eat, I know you don't feel hungry, you don't like to eat, but then only we say the limit. But you must eat on time. Or you can also express your concern. But if you don't eat, you will go hungry. You won't grow tall. So that is C. So you communicate limit, or sometimes we like to, like people say, give lecture. So your value, so your concern. So in C, you put in everything. Even you could communicate your emotions. You could say, "Mommy feels so sad when you pick Coco." So that is C. And especially if let's say some behavior when it is not okay, we really have to communicate the limit. So because we have sand and then we have so many toys in the playroom, so if we don't use C, it's going to mess up the whole place. So we will know when to say C. And of course, before you say C, sometimes you got to use back the first one reflecting A. And often parents also, although they use C, but they forget to use another very powerful skill called target other alternative. I think Yvette know how to use. That's why she's so calm. So a lot of parents now are so wise. We give them choice. So T means target other alternative. Okay, if let's say want to pick Coco, okay, I know you're so angry, you want to beat Coco, but beating Coco is not okay. You can choose to tell mommy. So we give them choice. We always say you can choose. This three word is a good word. You can choose or you may choose. So we give the power back to them. So because we want to empower the child, so we let them choose the correct method. So you may choose to tell mommy, you may choose to maybe like do something you like instead of quarrel with Coco. So that is okay T. And if let's say parents are able to handle these two, then oftentimes we will also guide them the third skill. The third skill is also very important. So maybe before I go further, is it clear for you on how to use OCT?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
thank
clear.
you so much. Clear. Huh? So, but most of time, sometimes because we coach a lot of parents, sometimes they say very hard to use. Why? Because when parents are not calm, it's hard to use because all the negative word will come out. So firstly, that's why we also encourage mother or father to also process their own emotion. Why am I so angry when I heard this? Because there must be something inside that trigger my emotions. And then the third one, even though your child is very good, obedient, but third one actually is to strengthen esteem. So esteem is different from ego. Ego is how other people see us, how we present ourselves. That's its ego. Esteem is our true self, how we truly see ourselves, our core value. So we want to build we want to secure the ego so that ego will not try to do so much to impress people, so that the child will not have so many acting out behavior. But we strengthen the esteem just by a few very powerful words. We know often we like to praise children by saying, oh, you are so good. Oh, you got 100 marks. Wow, you got A. Wow, you are so maybe 乖. You know, Chinese like to use the word 乖. But those are praises. We don't want praises because praises will promote
Ego.
behavior. Praises will promote more craving for praises. So they will add more to get the praises they want. But we want to encourage them. So we have esteem building statement. The third one called esteem building statement, where we use a magic word to actually build the esteem, which is very simple. So instead of seeing the result, we want to encourage the effort or the process, because it's the small effort at the end enable the big result. So if we focus on the big result, sometimes children get more tension, more pressure. By us encourage them all the way through, even though they might not make it now, but they want to go further. They want to grow, want to develop. So by very simple word, I know you can do it. So that is the word that we often use, but now we change it slightly. If let's say your child, although they are young, they can help you do some little chore. So you may say, wow, you can do this. Just say the word can. Wow, you can read on your own. Wow, you know how to take care of brother. So either can or no, these two. Because the word no and can actually is empowerment. We want to empower a child so that they can also like attempt more maybe challenges in life, especially like sometimes they already so close now because of negative like experiences and they don't want to try anymore. So by us say, wow, you know how to you can do this, then they actually willing to try again. So these three methods, in fact, we can package it, and then we also coach parent in doing something called child-parent relationship training, which I can maybe share next in our next session. But I think overall, because we focus so much on the sensations, the bodily reactions, emotions, and also the mind, these three has to get supported so that a child can get balance. So then I actually went on to explore a lot of method for bodily, and I discovered essential oil and also this method called scalp therapy, which is very helpful in helping them stay calm, and also I think it create a wonderful bonding between parent and child. Yeah. So maybe I invite my model. So maybe while waiting, I pass back to Melissa and Yvette, see whether you have anything to add on or to ask me.
Yeah, Yvette, anything you want to ask? I think you have more experience about the relationship between the parents and the children.
Yeah. What Dr. Tan mentioned just now is actually very important. The mind, the body, the emotion, because all these three must be together, must be in sync. Then the behavior that comes out will be good. Once the mind, the body, the emotions are all topsy-turvy, whatever that's shown outside, then you will have like funny behavior that we do not like. And then when parents see all these negative behavior, sometimes when parents are unable to reflect or just acknowledge their own anger or agitation, clash. So that's
Yes.
when parent child relationship become bad. So I think it works both ways. And then of course for the person who is handling the child with the needs, I think the parent should understand more and learn more, so that when we work with the child is more trusting, so they are able to like bond with us and do their best.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dr. Tan,
totally
I think
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, bonding is so important because just like Chinese has a saying, when there's a relationship, everything is okay. 当有关系，关系好，没有关系。When your children feel okay, everything is going to be okay. So the bonding, creating the bonding is very important. I have my godson here. So Brian, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Okay,
welcome.
Brian is 15 years old. So
Hi,
teenage is
Brian.
also. When is I say hello? Oh, so sorry because he can't hear because I
He can't
use the
hear.
AirPod. So maybe I remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't hear. Hi, Brian. What is it? Hi.
Hi, Brian.
So 15 years old, because we know teenage is the most stormy stage of a lifespan. But you see, the bonding is so important because when you create good bonding, I think they can be really so endure. So one of the method I like to do for them is to use essential oil. Although like sometimes teenager they are a bit like maybe like they have their own preference. So he used to tell me he liked lavender. So today I'm going to use lavender. In fact, long ago, why I ended up with essential oil sharing, because I read there are 3 oil very good for ADHD and autistic, which is first vetiver because it gives a sense of security, and cedarwood because it help grounding, especially for ADHD, and lavender actually has a frequency of 118 megahertz, which actually allow the brain in a stage called alpha stage. So in fact, it can calm and then open up a lot new elements, new potential, new activities in the brain. Because beside thinking, there is also this area called, the neuron actually holds a lot of potential. So
Yeah.
I first prepare the oil by first put in fractionated coconut oil, and then you add in the whatever essential oil that you have. Doesn't matter, even one type is okay. So prepare this one, and then actually we can also do a little massage by holding like this bottle. Okay, because sometimes the meridian actually run across our scalp. Okay, there are 3 main meridian. So in the middle is called main meridian or two meridian, two mile. And here is a bladder meridian, 膀胱经. Because 膀胱经 also very important. It go through the back, the spine. And here is a gallbladder meridian, 胆经. Here. And here is 三焦经. So we basically want to like massage gently so that it's not so tense. Because when the meridian is flowing freely, a child will be also healthy. And then the brain will also become more oxygenated. And in fact, why we use essential oil? Because oxygen, actually, essential oil will make the cell more oxygenated. Because oxygen is so important for the brain, for learning. So beside nutrient, oxygen is so important. And essential oil is actually nutrient to the brain, to the every cell. So I use a cotton bud like this and dip the oil that we prepared just now. So from here, the 2 meridian, because this 2 meridian is the main point where we also have this acupressure point called Bai Hui. So we go through like this. So if let's say like teenager, they normally don't like so oily. So we dip one time, actually you can go through like several times, and then you can do zigzag if you find like there are some congestions. So in fact, not only mother to do for child, in many places, I also coach children do for mother. Because mother need a reward also, right? So I also coach grandchildren do for their grandparents. Okay, especially because nowadays some children are raised by grandparents, and grandparents sometimes because of age and sometimes it's quite exhausted for them to take care of grandchild, right?
Yes.
So if grandchild can do something for grandparent, I think grandparent will be very happy to receive. So it's actually very simple. You can actually let them watch TV during the break time, and then you say, I help you with this little massage. They will be happy to receive. Teenagers, sometimes I think they don't like so much all these fancy things, but then we got to sweet talk so that get their consent, because we don't want to at the end become a fight. Mother said, come, I do scalp therapy for you. And the teenager said, I don't want. No, you must do. This is good for you. Dr. Tan said, but do. Then he forfeit the purpose. Then I said, Ryan, can you do me a favor? I really want to try out this scalp therapy. You be my model. Or sometimes he say, because mommy really love you. Mommy wants you to feel good. So mommy want to do this special therapy for you. And here, most of time are congested. This is called 三焦经. Why called 三焦经? Because 中焦, 下焦, 上焦, all actually the meridian flow through here. And it is also control our hormone. So if you want your child to grow tall, the growth hormone is so important, right? So this is more than a massage. In fact, they say one time of scalp therapy equivalent to 10 types of food reflexology.
Oh,
Not so
10
painful
times.
also.
I know you like food reflexology.
And not so painful, this one.
Yeah, so it's also easy. So then we often see, in fact, I propose to Melissa, this one can be for the the class. Because in fact, when we do this, we see it softens the whole facial. So they say one time of scalp therapy equivalent to 6 facial. So when you do like this, it helps the facial not so tense because there are 12 pairs of nerve on our facial. So why sometimes you see when children are naughty, the face become very ugly, right? We always say when you are so angel, your face is so wonderful because it's a nerve. It's a nerve. So this one will loosen the nerve. So when the nerve is also relaxed, it will help so much with the learning and emotions and the bodily. So the body won't feel so much. But of course, I will also often do little therapy for the spine because spine is also important, and also the hand. So this is like you maybe can do like once a week, or if let's say I have the chance to see Brian, I always grab the opportunity to do for him because I know that this is going to relax so much the tensions. Because especially now, I think they face so much computer because of like online learning. So I want the body not having so much tension. So thank you so much, Brian. I will do the other half later because of time. Then I will do this half later. I do the other side for you. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you.
Brian. You're a nice boy. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And also, like we have this method called 1-4-2 breathing. Why 1-4-2? Because when we inhale, 1 count, hold 4 count, and exhale 2 count. This one will help to relax the shoulder. So you see sometimes children, because they carry a lot of burden on the shoulder. So this one will help to relax the shoulder. So maybe back to Melissa and see whether you have anything to ask.
Yeah. How long should the massage, for massage, it take how long? Because I saw your methods, but is there any time consumed?
Yeah, if let's say you are free, you can do like 15 minutes. But if you are really busy, even 5 minutes is good enough. Because essential oil, the good grade of essential oil can penetrate. So it is like something like even you do like not like we are not professional hairstylists or masseuse, but this essential oil will help us do the job. If I apply essential oil here, it will help to relax the body. Although I cannot do so good massage because essential oil can relax the nerve, can soothe the muscle. So even 5 minutes is good. But of course, if let's say you want to have the chance to talk a lot with your child, so you will do slowly again and again. I can do 1 hour. Then you get to like have personal time with them, bonding, and also talk a lot. And then they will tell you story. So that is how we create something so that mutually we are like draw to each other. Because as mother, I love to provide this service for my child, and the child feel the love, because love is not by we say out. Love a lot of time, especially now, the children are very instinctive. So the instinctive children, they feel the feel. So this is a method we soothe, and then we make them feel like, wow,
I'm so valued because mom is willing to do all this for me. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So back to Melissa and Yvette again.
Yeah, I think with all this massaging and whatnot, yes, again, when we talk about bonding, this is a very nice time to get, children to be with you, and then you're able to, actually the connection, the bodily touch is all the connection. Then it actually sends all the feelings to the child. And then with the essential oil, yes, I do know lavender can, like calm a person. So, sometimes we just switch on the lavender. So, the place is filled with the smell. Children, actually, we can see children calmer. Even we ourselves are calmer. That's why we like to put lavender in the room. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So
Yeah, but then
I'm
I
so
think all these points that you show just now, yeah, I think it will be nice for parents to know because it's not tough at all. I think it's not difficult, and I think if every parent
not
take
difficult.
that effort, I think it will be good.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Dr.
then after, I hope one day I have chance to demo for both of you. Because after that you feel so relaxed. And even some elderly say the eye now is brighter. You see, this day a lot of children because the poor eyesight they have to wear spectacle. So with this actually maybe help a little bit because everything is about nerve and capillary. So when we soothe the nerve and we supply nutrient for capillary, then even like for us adult we need to do it because otherwise our eye is the one that age very fast.
Yes.
And I will tell you more because in our experience, because we did a lot for children, for adult, and it reduced wrinkle and fine line, and it uplift. So in fact, if we can train children to do the same for mother, then mother don't have to spend like a lot to go to salon.
Now cannot go.
Yes, yeah,
Now
especially this
even
time.
want to go.
Yeah,
So
and
Melissa,
now
you hear right? You should do this.
yeah, it's a good time to do all this hands-on at home. So perhaps next week, actually, I have a lot of method because I'm not Masul. I never imagined myself able to learn all this to help my family members because I 3 adult children and then with Brian. So I'm so grateful that now I have all this that I learned. Although I'm psychotherapist professionally, so doesn't matter whatever can benefit people we want to learn so that we can support them, especially bodily. So I will do all this for my husband, for my children, even my friends.
Yeah, this is a very good. In fact, just now we just mentioned all those 三焦经、白会血, and also 膀胱经, 胆经, all this is related to the Chinese physicians kind of massage and acupuncture point as well. And the
Yes.
last week we have doctors, a physician coming into talking about all those like acupoint for the autism children as well. So I believe and I really trust this method. It can help people to improve all those like you mentioned, the emotions, the relationship, the bonding between the parents and the children. It's a very good demo today. I heard a little bit of echo.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Can, but got some background echo.
Yeah, got the background echo.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I think Melissa, you're so right because we learn all this from Chinese sensei also. They are the expert. But I think as a mother, if I can learn a bit more from you, see, Chinese medicine has so long history to support my children. Why not? So thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And I wish you all the best. And I am very grateful for the work that both of you are doing, because it is such a noble, contributions to our society, especially at this time. I know everyone, like especially mother, a lot of anxious mother at home. So this will be a platform for them to find hope, and at least they will find some new skills and try out. With this small skill, it might change the family dynamic or the child destiny, totally for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Tan.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for today's, I think it's a very great sharing and also is a very meaningful demo. And I believe a lot of people benefit from these demonstrations and have a new knowledge as well for this scalp therapy with the essential oil. So we are looking forward for the next week. In fact, Dr. Tan has agreed to share with us another kind of a demo of therapy for next Saturday. So we are looking forward for the next Saturday to meet everybody again and we learn from Dr. Tan. So Yvette, anything you want to wrap up?
No, I'll be looking forward, and I do hope more parents will come in and listen to Dr. Tan to get all these skills
Yeah, I
needed,
think
especially during this period of time when everyone is locked in.
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, Dr. Tan.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week.
Yeah, thank
All
See you
you.
right.
all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Take care. Bye.